Oh ho ho, and we're back. Long time no see. Today we're gonna be making some soul funky music. It's gonna be so amazing. For those of you who are new, I'm vanilledebray. I'm a composer, I'm a songwriter, and sometimes I get asked to make music for short films or videos, things like that. This is one of those projects. There is a short film that's in the last stages of production, and they were hoping to get the rights to a song that they were using for the opening of the movie, but they couldn't get the rights, and so they asked me to make something in a similar vibe. This is the track they wanted me to make a new version of. Amazing. So there's singing. It's almost like reggae. Good stuff. There's this strong male vocal, percussion. There's these like keys. There's a lot going on. When I got the reference, I thought, very cool song, love the vibe. Also, this is not me. Like, look at me. I'm not groovy like that. So I knew it was gonna be a challenge. So I tried forever and ever to get a groove going because I think that's the most important part. Like, this is about the rhythm. At first I tried to do it all from scratch, like making a drum beat and making some MIDI brass lines that I was hoping to get a friend to record afterwards when they were approved. But it was just sounding so weak. And the team was saying, no, we need way more energy, like more aggressive, come on. So I'm like, I'm trying to be aggressive. I'm like a little flower child. It's hard for me to go like, Ultimately it worked out because I went and found some samples. So here's what happened. I ended up going on BandLab Sounds. So it's a free alternative to Splice, which I'm sure all of you use. I've never used any samples before, like ever. This is my first time. My biggest issue are the drums and the brass. So I typed in like soul brass, funky brass hits, funky brass, and I found this one. Oh yeah. This works. Like, that's the vibe. That's the energy that they were looking for. I could feel it. And so I looked at the info of this sample and it was an E minor at 90 BPM, and so I was like, all right, perfect. The track's gonna be an E minor at 90 BPM. And I worked from there. So I looked for other samples that matched the key and the tempo. I found these drums. They were both from the same sample pack, I think, called Buttered Soul. Pretty cool. Together. Good times. So I started with this loop and I added elements to it. There's also some guitar that I found. I was gonna play it, but I'm not the best like rhythm guitar player. So I thought, whatever, it's not worth the time. It works. It's cheating a little bit, but I guess obviously this is just 6 seconds, so I ended up making, modulations and lots of different, it's just like cutting up bits. It's like collage. Super different way of making music than what I'm used to. Like, I'm used to just going from scratch and like writing out all the parts or playing all the parts. But here I was just like taking bits, going like, oh, you go here, you go here, you go here. We need a brass hit. We need a drum fill. Yeah, it's fun. It's way easier and in a way more creative. And it was super quick and it had the energy that I was unable to give it. Okay, now the fun part. I had to make some vocals for this that are super not the way that I sing usually. It works out. It's because originally I just sent off an instrumental track, but in the first version that I'd sent them, I had included some vocals that I'd sang, and I think they were disappointed that they were not included in this. So you're like, where's the vocals gone? Okay, fine, I'll sing with energy. Lots of like, ooh. I'm gonna get you down. Yeah, and I put in these little like there's one here. Yeah.
Well, I've been waiting to take you out. I got a feel.
Okay, last thing that's missing from this part is very crucial to anything groovy, the bass line. Yes, so I actually did play the bass line. I will show you. What's really great is that even if you're not a very good instrument player, you can still get a good performance by just cutting it up in manageable bits and then editing all the takes until you have something that sounds okay. And like even, you know, very seasoned professionals do this. So it's not cheating. It's fine. You played all the notes. Just one by one. If I open up my take folders, you can see what we're dealing with here. Just a lot of different takes to get a bass line that I liked, and that goes with the melody and with everything. Because it was samples, I wanted something that brought them together. I would feel kind of like a cheat just taking all those samples from this one sample pack and lining them up on top of each other and making like the same song that everybody will have made with those samples. So I had to get creative, especially in the second and third house.
Down, baby.
D minor.
I've been waiting to take you out. I got a feel.
Yeah, here the only thing I have to say is I did some back vocals to add a little bit of depth, and I kept everything pretty tight, super compressed. The thing about samples, like the sample packs, usually they come to you at like the maximum level of compression so that they'll just fit into your session. You don't have to deal with adjusting their volumes that much, like they all pretty much fit together. It doesn't work with all styles of music, but it works with this one. Like the reference, if we go back to it, this is less compressed than my drums, but in a way, because it sounds like an old recording, it has that vibe of being a little bit squashed. So it works for me to have those super compressed samples. Quick note about the processing on the voice. I just used a compressor, the LA2A, pretty... So it's compressing, but it's not like completely destroying them. Then I have this tube distortion from Arturia on the vocals and on some other instruments as well in there. And I use this to make the sound a bit more crunchy. So it just adds some distortion. Here's before.
You down, gonna get you down.
I kept it pretty subtle because I didn't see the point of going overboard. I put some compressor distortion on the bass. The backing vocals also have this. And both are going to a little bit of reverb. I have a small wooden room and a plate reverb. It adds a bit of space to make it feel more like a live performance. But I really didn't want it to sound super resonant because that feels really wrong. Like the reference is pretty dry. That's really dry. Okay, just for kicks. This is going away from the reference. It seems a bit more fruity, but they liked it, so we're keeping it. I'll get you. At the end of the track, I just chopped up some drum fills. I duplicated and pitch modified some of the brass to make little sections sound. Yeah. Put some other bits of brass in there, just panned around. You can see that the main brass line, I also didn't keep exactly the same as the original all the time because that would have been so boring. So sometimes I chopped it up to make a new rhythm, make it more edgy. Yeah, that's what that sounds like.
you down.
The bass line I played matches with what?
Down.
With the guitar. So there's this guitar sample.
Down.
To make it less stupid, I played a bass line that goes with it.
You down.
Nice. At the very end of the signal chain, I have two things. One, I almost always, if I'm not sending it to mastering, I always use ozone. I have just like the basic version elements. It's a limiter and sort of mastering tool. It basically makes the track louder and equalizes it a little bit and deals with some of the dynamics at the end. And that's not the important part here. Honestly, because I was dealing with samples and they were already so compressed, the limiter is almost not doing anything. I have this other plugin from Arturia also, Tape Mellow-Fi. It basically adds noise to emulate a tape machine. So you can choose to have like the sound of the grooves and the mechanics of it, or you can distort the way that tape distorts, where the pitch goes a bit wobbly. I didn't really do that. Oh no, I do have some of it. It's called Wow.
Out on me. Oh, would you like to take it, take it, take it, put it, take it all out on me. Hey. I'll get you down.
On, off,
I'll get you down.
on. Like a couple dB of difference in here. I'm not respecting my rule, but you can still hear what it's doing. It's just making it a little bit more closed in and noisy, but in a good way. I even put a low pass, sorry, 2% low pass filter to sort of like reduce a little bit of the highs, just for funsies. That's basically it. Took some samples, chopped them up, put a bit of distortion on some of them, tried to match the sound, added some tape, sang in my growly voice, played some bass just so it makes it feel more unified. And we got a song. Thanks for watching. Let me know how you would approach something like this. I'm interested to know what you guys have as a workflow. I think that a lot of you do use samples, like more than I do. So it's interesting to see how people go about it. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you're all good. And I'll see you in the next one.
I'll get you down. I'll get you down.